What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Casper's Kicks is checking in. If this is your first time checking out the channel, appreciate you for stopping in. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. Y'all know I greatly appreciate y'all's support. Like I said, if this is your first time, I cover a wide range of sneaker related topics, whether it be sneaker reviews, sneaker updates, early reviews, of course. But today for y'all, I do have something totally different than what I normally do. I actually have a DIY project today. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm not exactly sure I'm going to set up everything, but I'm just going to go with it and see how it goes. So today, like I said, I do have a DIY project, which is dealing with the Air Jordan 1 prototypes. Now, if you were familiar with this shoe, it did recently drop, probably I think a month or two ago at this point now. But this shoe did drop, and one of the features with this shoe, of course, it's a high top, but if you see along the back portion there, you see perforated lines, and this shoe is able to be turned into a low top Jordan 1. Now, once you turn it into a low top Jordan 1, there is no going back to a high top, and you just you have to decide if you want to keep it as a high top or go to a low top. Now, me personally, I prefer them as a high top because of the blue portion that's up here. It adds some color to the shoe, and I like how it looks as a high top. But because we're on YouTube, I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to go ahead and cut this prototype one and make it a Jordan 1 low top. Now, I tried to find videos on YouTube of people doing this, and I think I found like maybe one or two videos. So there's not a lot out there. I'm like I said, my thoughts in this shoe is that I prefer it as a high top, and I feel like a lot of people are the same way. It looks way better as a high top, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it and show y'all what it looks like as a low top. And then we're going to go from there. I'm going to get y'all's thoughts, of course, and everything like that. So I do have an X-Acto knife. I'm going to attempt and hope that works. I think it should. If not, I do have some scissors, which that would be my backup plan. But we're going to go ahead and see how this shoe looks as both a high top and a low top. Now, I do have an on-feet video of this shoe on with the high top version. And then I will do one later in the video of it being a low top. So we're gonna see how it goes, but as always, I appreciate y'all for stopping in and checking out the channel. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, all that. But let's go ahead and jump into this DIY project. Alright, so it's voiceover time, so now you're gonna be hearing my voice just kind of speak over this video as we go through this process. But first and foremost, what I did was take out the laces out of the shoe. It makes it easier just to be able to access the back end of the shoe and go ahead and start cutting the shoe or the top portion of the shoe off. Just with those laces in the way, it just makes things a little difficult. So now I started cutting. So as you see here, different portions of the shoe, which is kind of what I've realized as I was starting to cut, were thicker than other portions of the shoe. So as you see me here, that front portion of the shoe is a little bit thicker to cut through compared to the portion I'm cutting through now. It is a little bit easier to cut through. So that I just noticed that different portions of the shoe were just easier to cut through. Now, what I'm doing here is, as you see poking along the perforated lines, the video that I saw that I originally watched, the guy was basically sawing through the material and it left an uneven cut of the foam. So what I wanted to do here was go along and go through each hole and make a hole there and then connect the holes. But what I found was it was still kind of difficult not to end up just sawing through the materials just to make everything connect. So that's what you see me doing here, is just basically sawing to try and connect. And since that front piece is so thick, it was just kind of impossible not to saw through. Now, as you progress further into cutting the shoe, you'll see me here separating the cut portion away from the shoe itself. That is one thing that you want to try and do, is as you cut, keep the cut portion separate from the shoe just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. I tried to do that here, but I really wasn't paying too much attention to it just because I was so focused on cutting. But when you separate the materials from each other, it makes it easier to cut through, especially the foam and it's almost like a net material on the back side of the shoe, or whatever materials on the inside of the sock liner portion. Basically separating it makes it easier to cut through that. So you want to make sure that You pull away and cut and keep pulling away and cutting as you go. So now you see me going in and separating the cut portion and just cutting away at the pieces that are still connected. So it's this sock liner that's basically now preventing the top portion from being cut away here. So I'm going through and just separating all that and ensuring that it's gone or cut, just so I can start pulling it away. And now I flip over to the other side, just because I felt that flipping over to the other side, once I got to the back portion, it'd be easier to cut from the other side and go towards the back. And then once I got both sides cut and was able to get on the back side, I could just cut it straight across from there. So that's why I flipped it over here. And as you see here, I started having technical difficulties with the X-Acto knife. So I guess because the material is so thick up here, the X-Acto knife started coming out. And I don't know if it's because it's a cheap X-Acto knife or what. It was really annoying, and it happened like 3 or 4 times. But I had to basically put the X-Acto knife back together and then start cutting again. And I would get through a portion of the shoe and then it would come out again. So I'm not sure if it's because it was cheap or what, but the struggles of doing a DIY project. Now, as I was starting to work my way towards the back of the shoe, of course, this portion of the material was a lot easier to cut through, so I didn't have too many problems trying to cut through like I did at the beginning when I first started. So you'll see me here just trying to connect those perforated lines, poke through, and connect the previous hole along with cutting the foam to make sure that that's cut perfectly, and to also cut the sock liner to make sure that that's cut as well, and I can separate the cut piece from the actual shoe itself. So starting to work my way towards the back. In just a minute here, you'll see me flip the shoe so I can get the back, and I did change camera angles to make it a little bit easier to see. But as you see, going this way, it was going to be hard for me to be able to cut the back just because of how the angle was. So flipping camera angles now. So on this back side, it's a lot easier to see what I'm doing, which is why I flipped camera angles. But as you see, I'm just basically working my way, trying to connect from one side to the other so I can take off this back portion and just cut along through it. Now this is where things got a little uneven for the foam, because as you see, there's a kind of wavy like back portion to this. So the foam looked kind of weird, and you can even see here how some of the foam up front is uneven. But once I get this portion taken off, you'll see what I'm talking about. And now you are about to see a finished product. See, I got that long last cut right there, and this is what it looks like from the side angle, and then I flip back up to the top portion so you can actually see what it looks like. So this is one thing that I didn't like, which I'll talk about a little later in the video, but see how the foam is just kind of uneven, it's kind of wavy, it just doesn't look correct to me, I guess you could say. So that was the only, I guess, bad portion. And this is what the cut piece looks like, and you can see how it's uneven just from cutting it, because I didn't cut exactly along the perforated lines. Alright, so back in front of the camera. Hope y'all enjoyed that quick DIY run through tutorial, whatever you want to call it. So now I have cut both pairs of Air Jordan 1 prototypes, and I guess you could call these the Air Jordan 1 low prototypes now, but this is what they look like. So quick 360. Of course, as you did see, I did do the little on feet so you can see what they look like as the high top version and as a low top version. So that's that, and I'll show you the other one as well. So like I said, I did cut both pairs. I cut the other one off camera just to make it a little easier on myself. Alright, so that's that, and then of course you do have the blue part that was cut off. Now, my thoughts on this shoe as a low top. Now, me personally, I prefer the shoe as a high top. I knew, I had a feeling going in before I even cut it that I would like it as a high top. If you've kept up with my channel, I don't really have, actually I don't have any Jordan 1 lows. I'm not the biggest fan of lows. Like, I wear them, but it's just not my cup of tea. So to have this as a low top, I would have much preferred it as a high top. I think one of the biggest things that I don't like is how the foam looks. So I think with the way that I did it with the X-Acto knife, and I was trying to avoid having to saw through the foam, but it was just kind of a little difficult it was kind of a little difficult avoiding doing that. Like, I was trying to just like one by one go in each perforated hole and then kind of work my way through that, but I found it a little bit difficult to work through the materials to do that, so I ended up having to saw through the top portion, and you can see it's a little uneven where I just kind of went over it. So I don't really like that look. That uneven look is just kind of not appealing to me. And even just kind of going around here, you can see the fray where it frayed, or just how it kind of got cut weird. So maybe there's an easier method or easier tool to use to cut these, but the X-Acto knife, it'll get you this look, but to some people it may not be a good look for them. Now, the one video I did watch, another guy talked about like stitching this up and like closing it off, or turning this to an Air Jordan 1 switch where it has like the zipper and you can reattach this top portion. But I probably won't do that. I honestly probably leave them like this and decide what I want to do with them. I should have put other laces in these. I do want to see like the orange laces in here, because this one does have the black, and the black doesn't look bad, especially with the colors on here, but I would like to see just a different color lace on here. Now, the other thing that I did not mess with the tongue. So the tongue is a little long in my opinion, but I didn't want to cut it down and then you just have another more exposed foam. And then this one of course has the tongue tag on here, so I didn't want to cut that off, and then I don't have one down there. So that's the reason why I left the tongue long. It doesn't look bad, but I think I would prefer maybe a little bit shorter on this shoe. But you know, that's just my personal opinion. But other than that, not too terrible of a project to do. It didn't take me long at all. Probably no more than this shoot. The first one I did on camera took about 10 minutes just because I was having difficulty with the knife and the knife kept coming attached and everything. When I did the second shoe off camera, it took me like 5 minutes to go through the whole shoe and just cut it up, and it was pretty simple. And I know on camera y'all saw me take the laces completely out of this shoe. When I cut this shoe, I only took the laces half out, so I believe I stopped maybe like right here, and I was able to cut it off with no problem at all. So you really don't have to take the laces all the way off to do it, but I just wanted to take it all the way off and make it easy on myself. So that's why I did that. But let me know what y'all think about the Air Jordan 1 prototype as a low top. Do y'all like this as a low top, or do you prefer it as a high top? Hopefully this video helps somebody that's kind of stuck on if they want to make this a low top or if they want to keep it a high top. Hopefully you get a good idea from this video. It's not hard to do if you want to do it. You just probably need an X-Acto knife or something else to cut with. But hopefully y'all get an idea of if you prefer it as a high top or if you would just rather have it as a low top. But let me know in the comments what y'all think about this shoe as a low top. Is this something that you're gonna do, contemplating doing? Let me know in the comments. You know, we could discuss it. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I do appreciate y'all for stopping in and checking out the channel. If you're new here, like I said at the beginning of the video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I have a couple early pairs coming this week, so should have some more reviews coming. I think I have a shoe coming tomorrow. If you're watching this today, when you're watching the video, I should have a pair coming. So it should be 2 pairs dropping this week, 2 reviews dropping this week, and potentially a third, but I'm waiting to hear back and see what's up with that one. But like I said, subscribe, all that, y'all know what it is. Give y'all one last look at these. Road to 500 subscribers, so all of y'all that are currently subscribed, I do greatly appreciate y'all. It's all love. Y'all are awesome for just showing love and support. But I will catch y'all in the next video. Hope y'all stay safe and stay blessed. Casper's Kicks is going ghost.